welcome to the Resilience Catalyst podcast. And my name is Joyce Odidison. This morning, I want us to delve into understanding some of the other elements of resilience and the resilience mindset. And so I have a guest with me today. Terry Healey has spent years looking at the resilience mindset and wants to share something with you as our guest to help you understand his perspective of resilience. Because, on the Resilience Catalyst show, we try to make resilience simple. We make it something that you can tangible, that you understand what resilience is and how you can apply it in your life. So the guests we bring on are bringing you tools, awareness, and lived experience. So if you're looking for more tools to be resilient, this is where we make it simple. We take out all the jargon and we give you the step by step process for resilience. So today we're going to delve deeper into the resilience mindset. Now, many of you may be thinking, oh, Joyce, my mind go off. I can't, I think I can't control it. So these things, I have these thoughts. Terry will help you understand his process for the resilience mindset. And maybe you can get some tips from him, learn more about him, follow him, and sharpen up and solidify your resilience mindset. Let's delve into the show. Let me welcome Terry here with me. Terry, welcome to the show.
Hi, Joyce. Great to be here.
My pleasure having you. So, a little bit about Terry, guys. He has had experiences in his career and in his personal life. So, Terry, tell us a little bit more about you and what brings you to the Resilience Catalyst.
Yeah, so I spent about 35 years in marketing, sales, leadership, and consulting roles within the high tech arena. And my resilience that I utilized as part of how I manage really stemmed all the way back to when I was 21 years old and in college, before my career even started. And that was a personal ordeal, a major adversity, life-threatening, facially disfiguring that I overcame. But it helped me to really become more empathetic. And I think it helped lead me to a better management style, in my opinion, in terms of kind of taking that servant leadership approach.
So I want to respond to the piece when you talk about a facial disfigurement and how you had to deal with that at 21. 21 is where we're coming into life. That's where we're deciding who we want to partner with. We're looking at making grounding life decision. And here you're faced with this. Tell us how your mindset was, what kind of mindset you had to develop and what kind of work you did to help you to not just go away and hide, but to say, world, I am here to stay.
Yeah. So in some ways, Joyce, I would say I was very lucky, right? And gratitude's at the center of everything for me. But when I was 21, what led up to that point was a life of somebody that was very confident, that had high self-esteem. I was an athlete. I was getting good grades. I was a homecoming prince, all that kind of stuff, right? So when this thing happened to me, that was not only life-threatening, but disfiguring, certainly it set me back. Certainly, it took me to the depths of who I was. Fortunately, however, I'm somebody that always had a strong foundation of faith. I was somebody that reflected a lot. And I think I relied on those things that were inbred in me. And over time, as I was having difficulty sort of readjusting, and as I felt that I was losing my self-esteem, I took the time to step back and really think about what are some things that I can do to move my life forward? Because right now I feel like it's actually going down. It's not stable and it's not going up. And to your point, I was about to start my career. So all of this was kind of happening at the same time. I had a lot of very fortunate incidents. I had an alumni advisor who knew me before the incident, who actually took a chance on me and hired me. So I think that was very fortuitous also. That gave me a confidence boost because here was somebody that knew before and believed in me. So when someone believes in you, it goes a long ways, right?
Yes, it's easy when someone comes along and say, "Hey, I see your worth. I see your value. I know who you are. I believe that you can go the next mile." And for those of us who've had mentors, we know how important that is, and gives us that energy to continue to be a mentor for others. Because sometimes your resilience is not all inside; it's somebody else who comes. That social network is such an important part of resilience, and that's why we teach 9 dimensions of resilience, because one of that is your social, the people in your network, your esteem, your communication, your conversations, your ability to communicate and present yourself. That has a lot to do with your resilience and your ability to reset and rebuild and rebound. And it sounds like you had that all in place.
Yeah, you hit on a huge facet. Being open and vulnerable to looking to support, right? And telling people when you need their help.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, one of the things I found that was really instrumental in my healing and how I bounced forward was joining a support community of people that didn't know me, right? So this was a cancer support community.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that to be incredibly liberating from the standpoint of it forced me to find the courage to share my vulnerabilities. And when you do that, other people start to share theirs. And I think that's largely where a lot of my empathy was developed. And I carried that empathy into the workplace. And I will tell you that and this isn't to pat myself on the back, but I had great retention on my teams. And I think it had a lot to do with the fact that I listened. And I had empathy for them. I understood that everybody's different. Everybody has different needs, but the work has to get done. You've got to be accountable, but let's understand the person behind the work.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like what you're saying is going through this experience helped you to be a better leader
Absolutely.
and allowed you to see people and align yourself with the teams that you lead, therefore allowing you to be very successful in sales and moving forward.
Absolutely. I think that what I did see as I went through my career dealing with both startup environments and very large mature technology companies, that oftentimes you would have new leaders come in that I would work with. And these new leaders, oftentimes who were young, felt like they always had to prove themselves and show their smarts, right? So they wanted to be the leader and they wanted to come up with the ideas. And when you looked at it, you saw weakness. You didn't see strength, right? Because really what your team's success is about is how you empower them, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's ultimately how a team succeeds is you empower the team to make decisions, to make progress. You trust them. All of those kind of things become so instrumental in moving a team forward.
It's so important that you talked about that, because the key to a resilient team is, as you said, self empowerment and authorization. If you don't authorize them to have a voice, to think, to be able to be self correcting, self aware, self directing, then you are always babysitting, and you cannot have a resilient team if you as the leader takes on the full responsibility for the team members have brains, and your job is to help them to access it and use it effectively so they can deal with the challenges of workplace and life. And many leaders don't do that because they're stuck in ego. And you said when you see the new leaders coming in, all you see is ego, and ego shows I'm scared, I'm worried, right? Those primal questions that am I safe? Am I? And they forget that they're not the only one with those questions, because your team is asking the same question. Your team members are asking the same question. Okay, am I safe with this new leader? Right? Am I enough? Do he or she think I'm successful? Answering those primal, and that's where neuroscience comes in, and really helps leaders to understand that you're not the only team. You're not the only team member on the bus.
Yeah. Yeah. And think about what you just described in terms of burnout factor, right? I mean, leaders that operate that way are not going to last terribly long. They might last long, but they're not going to be successful. So they're going to have to go do something else, right? You're just going to burn yourself out. You got to empower. You got to trust people.
Yes, it's a huge factor because not only do they burn out, but their team become disengaged. That means the team is going to look for other opportunities. I'm not growing here. Nothing is happening. There's nothing exciting. I'm just going to leave because I'm not growing. So they're looking for opportunities where they can grow, where they feel safe, where they feel valued, where they can develop their success, where they're wanted, where there are opportunities. Those are the things that drive team members. And as leaders, we have to remember that, think of that, and bring it into a repertoire so we know that our people feel valued. We know that our people feel heard. And we know that our people are getting the answer to these questions with us, how they feel when they come in with a question, how we make them feel, how we connect with them. All of those things are so important to them connecting, them understanding, them feeling valued, them feeling that they have a purpose. That's critical to the well-being of the team and the resilience of the team. So tell me about your book because I see your book there, Resilience Mindset. Tell the audience about your book. There's someone who's listening and they've gone through a difficult time. They've had challenges in their life. They've gone through some of those valleys, right? And they don't know how to pick themselves up, right? It may not be a facial thing, or it could be. It may not be something that people can see because the things we go through are not always visible. Right?
Mostly they're not. Yes.
There's a song I like. It says, "I don't look like what I've been going through," right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
those are the people who people can't really see what you're going
That's
through
right.
visibly, but you're going through it internally, and it's the same intensity. It doesn't
Absolutely.
get any easier. So tell us what your book is talking about, and
Okay.
talk to that person who's going through that right now.
Yeah. So a couple of things. I mean, I think at the core of a resilient mindset is a positive mindset and a growth mindset. So really quickly to um, share how it relates to the business world, right? I think that growth mindset is also so instrumental. We kind of talked about dysfunction a little bit, right? And the concept of growth mindset where you you're learning from your mistakes, you're accepting failure, you're actually embracing failure because that's how you learn and that's how you grow as long as you're embracing it. And I'll jump back to my book in a second, but I think it's important. One thing that I always tried to practice is, sometimes campaigns wouldn't go so well. Sometimes we wouldn't get sales engagement to the level that we wanted. We wouldn't get the adoption. So you'd step back and you'd have to have these meetings to discuss the problems. Well, instead of starting with the problem, let's start with a win, right? So what did we do that was incredibly successful over the last quarter? Let's start there. Get everybody in a positive mindset, feeling good and confident again before we delve into now what did we learn? But understand that the mistakes are what are going to fuel our success in the future. But yeah, so the resilience mindset is really, the book is really about how adversity can strengthen us as individuals, as teams, and as leaders by helping us build resilience, gain confidence, and find greater purpose. And so in the book, I actually share my personal overcoming this life-threatening, disfiguring disease that I had. But I also share profiles of other individuals who overcame insurmountable obstacles far greater than my own and came out the other side, transformed and with greater purpose. So it's not just about me. It's about a lot of other people that bounced back, transformed, and saw an incredible new life as a result of what they learned.
Mm-hmm. Because the life we live after our valleys and our challenges can be so much more meaningful because of what we went through, right? And I hear
Absolutely.
that a lot, and I see that in my own life. People see you on the outside and they think, oh, your life is so perfect. You've got everything. And they have no clue the valleys that you have to go through. Um, and they just assume, you don't know anything and you haven't been through anything. So For those individuals, what do you need to tell them right now?
Yeah.
What can you say to that person right now who's looking at you and say, yeah, well, you had someone who hired you. You had someone who believed in you. You had this and you had that, and you live in America, right? That has a
Right.
lot to do with it.
Right.
Where
Right.
you live, geography has a part of it. So talk to that person who is just down right now,
Yeah.
going through a valley.
Yeah. So I would say that really what the core of the book is about is it's about building resilience. Well, how do you do that? Right. So I have a whole resilience framework within my book that's composed of 4 key phases, but to sort of net it out, it's about developing some simple new habits. And when I say simple new habits, those are tough, right? Those are, a lot of people will say, oh, nothing's simple. Um, they all take time. It's tough. It's all this stuff, but it's really not. And so I'll just touch on a few of them. One is to take the time to reflect every day. That is 3 to 4 minute exercise. I can talk about what that is and how I use it. So that's one thing that transformed who I was, right? Second thing is to practice gratitude. That puts you in a positive mindset. It helps you look at life differently. It helps you take some chances too. And I think take risks, which is what I think we all need to do. Third thing is positive imaging and visualization, right? Those are very powerful. So positive imaging is a way to calm yourself in times of stress. Whereas visualization, I think of as a way to visualize a better future. And how you do that is you simply spend a few minutes doing it, thinking about visualizing where you're going to be. That actually helps build confidence at the same time. And then the last thing is it's really critical, I think, to and we're not talking about adding new things to your life or to your day, but making sure that you have goals, but that you don't overwhelm yourself with goals. You set one personal, you set one professional, you focus on one at a time. And when you achieve those, you start to believe in yourself again, right? You start to believe that you're capable. You start to believe that life is going to improve. So all those things help, I think, give you hope, which is at the key of resilience.
I love how you talk about goals. Goals are very important because goals are where you're going. It's the journey you're on, and without them, you're just driving with no destination. So that's very important no matter what situation you're in. It's very important to have goals. And as a coach, that is critical to every coaching conversation is let's have goals. Let's work on your goals. Let's actionize your goals. Let's visualize your goals. And I love that you talk about the visualization, spending that time and looking, feeling, experiencing the life that you want, whether it's in your business, in your relationship, in your life. If you don't visit that place where you're going, then it's unfamiliar and it's hard to bring it into your life. But if you
100%.
visit it and it's a place that you're familiar and you go to in your quiet moments, it's easy to bring it into your reality on a day-to-day basis. So that's exciting.
Absolutely.
And I love that you're sharing that in your book and really reminding the listeners that it's okay, whatever you're going through. It may not be jolly and you're not be jumping up, but you have value. You're a person of value. And maybe the people around you might not see your value, but there are other people in the world who will see your value.
Absolutely.
But you have to see your value first. You have to believe that you're a person of value first before you're able to translate that to those around you. And one of the things that we do with our, like I specialize in resilience for organizations and teams, and we have a resilience platform. So in there, our clients are able to go in and measure how well they're doing in the 9 dimensions of resilience, understand and get a quantifiable resilience index report that shows them their resilience competencies, their resilience index score, and also give them the ability to learn what the skills of resilience are. So for each dimension, there are different elements that you look at. And sometimes we forget what those are because life gets so busy. we are running here, doing this, doing that, and we just forget about the things that make life truly meaningful, truly impactful, and we forget to do some of the little things. Like you said, it's the little things. And all these little things add up to make something big. So this is a really great conversation. Terry, where can people find you? If they're looking for you, they've heard your story, they see your book. You've really gone on and you've done some really good pieces. And don't be shy to tell us about you, right? You've gone through this very scary, life-threatening cancer. You were able to come out on the other side, right? Yes, you've had some facial scarring, but you didn't let that stop you. You went on to do powerful things. You've worked in HR, you've worked as a business strategist, and now you're an author. Is this your first book?
That was my second book.
Your second book, right?
Yeah.
So now you're on book two. Way
Book
to go.
two.
I hit book seven and I seem to be paused.
Lucky
Well,
number seven.
I
That's
have
an
done number
accomplishment, I'll
seven,
tell
yes.
you.
Finished number seven, and I've been working on number eight, but I've been so busy. So hopefully
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell us how people can connect with you and what are some ways you help clients to move past this. Who exactly are your clients?
Yeah, so you can find me on the web. terryhealey.com has all my information. I speak to corporations. I speak to healthcare organizations. I just booked another talk this morning for a oncology nursing organization. I speak to schools and students, both at the college level all the way down to the middle school level, and then associations and nonprofits as well. It's really my experience that you shared a second ago is really a gift, Joyce. I look at it as a gift. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, that experience, but I'm grateful for it every day. So yeah, that I do workshops. So I do resilience workshops, helping organizations deal with change. But I also do a lot of keynotes, sharing how people can build resilience, how teams can build resilience.
Yeah. And it's so good that you're bringing that experience and you're sharing it with the world, you're sharing it with leaders, you're sharing your own leadership experience and sharing your story. So we appreciate that and we value that. And I just want to say thank you so much. Guys, follow Terry, terryhealey.com. He's also on LinkedIn and social media platforms as well. And pick up his book. Where can they find the book?
Anywhere books are sold.
Everywhere books are sold, you can pick up a copy and really go through and understand his riveting story and what he brings, that purpose he found, and how he brought that confidence and that resilience to make a difference in the world. So, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you can have a reset and you can move forward. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, Terry. We
Keep up the great work yourself.
Thank you. Bye bye.